Hello! Welcome back to Danganronpa. Okay, so last episode was fucking crazy. It was crazy. Also, last episode I said I would make a second save slot, and I didn't. I fucking totally forgot. Alright. So this is what's happening, and I'm fucking weirded out. What's going on? The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. What? Hope's Peak Academy brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege. They said that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting... Don't you have an impression of deja vu? There are two things you need to attend this school. One, we've already seen this. Then there. Oh. Huh? What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. Wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Ah! You remember, right? Finally, I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. On the right, that machine, I recognize it. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. That was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. How the fuck would you know that? So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. Okay. Is that an airplane? How did something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? The punishments, bro. That's a rocket, and it sank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. The rocket, I recognize it. This is a desk. It's hardly the one that fell down here with me. Rattle, rattle, it's locked. Rattle, rattle. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. That was pointless, too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-around bad idea? And again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. And after making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was dead and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. Can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. The crunch. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me away. As I watched the pile of garbage justled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? This. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? Carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Kyoko! Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells
New hairstyle? Yeah, new hairstyle. This place smells awful. Kyoko? You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash and faced me again. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! Snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Oh, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not! After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me? To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. So I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew that he knew that she knew. Do you get what I'm getting at? I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However,
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have
in
to
other
survive
words,
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope Speak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope Speak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once.
I-
Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... Baboo badabadoo. Babadoo! Then is it really true? You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped
That's
here.
right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember how I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what will make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because... I don't think. I'm positive it was a work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However,
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it. I feel like if there was someone that was a mastermind between us, it would be Hiro 100%. Like, I love Hiro, but let's be honest. Hiro would be absolutely the unexpected mastermind. The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind. I understand.
should like this.
Ah, it's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just
Listen.
happen? Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just a personality. Hell of a personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
so
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for? I'm the ultimate detective. Oh, la 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 la. Who fucking called it? Sorry, who called it? From the very beginning. I said ultimate ASMR girl, but besides that, I said ultimate detective. I fucking called it. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope Speak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in this school. You had to find someone? Who?
So-
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope Speak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find a headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope Speak. Yoko's dad is Hope Speak headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the Headmaster was involved.
I
Ba-boo, ba-da, ba-boo.
no
Do-ba-ba-la-ba-la-ba.
I
My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. Makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes
However-
sense. But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
So-
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind,
it's
right?
true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the Endmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope Speak Academy. I found it in the Headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there. So, if I had chosen to tell the lie, what would have happened? That's what I'm wondering. Would it have not let me, like, all the other time? Also, run away? What would have run away done?
However,
But once I got there, I noticed the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important and really ominous.
however,
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and no monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However-
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. Yeah, I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, and then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school
That's right.
regulations? Exactly.
in other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use a class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school
Hey.
regulations. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. It could have become the victim.
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... yeah. During the night? I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use a class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. That's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction, so what does it all
In
mean?
other words-
It means that the mastermind is the one who's being cornered. Who's been cornered, huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. Talking
right.
about what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair. That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're, make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair, and that is our real enemy. Oh, fuck. Chapter 6. We're still, well, we were like 7. Now she's dead. Now we're 6. I thought that was a dildo. Dream Island. Well, I know what the second game is about. It's about an island. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused a tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now...
Anyway.
Right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Your key, right? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room? Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. It can open any door in the school, right? That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and then slid it into the keyhole. And then... Hell yeah. Yes! It opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Ooh la la. Ooh my god. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Oh my god. Deadly life. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. That's a long ladder. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. That's what I was gonna say. If you fall, you're fucking dead. Now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said that you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So, because we take pride in it. Pride? A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride, so that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her, because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about. There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it? I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kurogiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future, but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name, so every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. I can see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative, more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really? The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that. Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I'm so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. This is gonna be a very, talkative. I'm gonna talk a lot this episode, so instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence, and after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. And then I fell. Looks like this is it. On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back. Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? Fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. Reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. What if it opened from downwards and you were like, ah, shit! The hatch opened with ease, and so... Hey! Oh, shit! That's where it goes! That's where the hatch goes! Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. Never would have gotten out there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too. Help me so they might. You're worried? Yeah, of course. Then let's just get a concrete answer, huh? Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, if we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we'll find out. And it's not like we can run away. She said that. She pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. He said something like that before. What does it mean? The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Makuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was? If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we got to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. Still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym. Let's get going. I want to see the others first. Oh, they're sleeping. Right, it's nighttime. Shit. Let's save. Alright, good. Let's go to the gym. Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished! Did Kyoko help you? So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again! And this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What? But before you do, let me just say one thing. If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
other words.
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
However,
When Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like
Right.
that. And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
however,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery, alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed
am I
it.
wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mikuro. You did.
Listen to
So
me.
executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? Ha! And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto? And you can prove this, right? No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? A comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
That doesn't
I
matter.
don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find
That's
more.
right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type? If
Because
Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
However.
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts. And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince. If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly
Listen
right.
to me.
Despair can never kill hope. Ah!
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. Ah! If you want to earn our despair fair and square, then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours? To do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
it's
It's
time
time
for
for
one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial. One last showdown, in other words. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, the mastermind himself. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Barry? Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes! Oh no. Now that you've suggested might be possible, it would have certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept? Jesus Christ, please shut the fuck up with your bear puns. I don't want to hear them. If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory? Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed, and we still have a shot at this. But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting hand. So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you. That's what, I mean, I guess koalas are bears.
true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries to the school, then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey.
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held. I remember that for sure. So what? I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement.
You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that.
Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations, which would have mean that whoever killed Mukuro.
It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go quiet all of a sudden?
I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you, so get lost, would ya?
Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Leave me alone. Get out of here.
Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go?
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Shut the fuck up, Monokuma. We're gonna beat you! Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away, and just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's death. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
So-
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
Because-
It's all because of that one moment that the Mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the Mastermind let their guard down? I wasn't there to hear myself, but you remember the Mastermind said? They said that they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast their school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said
Listen.
that. What did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read something about like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However-
Yet somehow the Mastermind was able to do it.
other
But
words-
think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
So-
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
see-
The Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations are designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed
In other
anybody.
words-
So the Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
Correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a
Hey.
point? The outside world is a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope,
That's
right?
right.
And for those of us who represent hope, kill each other and sink into despair, the Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, is the ultimate despair. What? You want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's
It's true.
ridiculous. You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group's only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer? I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words-
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world, the Mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
the very
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves. That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use a class trial, following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have the right answer, and made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't
It's
work.
true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. When that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
other words-
Would only do the Mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your
However-
challenge. Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. Didn't have the slightest clue. In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. Took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. Totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time, or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it will cost us our lives. There is no option except to win. But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone. Is that really possible? Huh? Anyway, right now we have to go find the others. They're probably in dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Well, this is where we end the episode. Wow, we just uncovered a shit ton of mysteries and secrets. I don't know how to do outros and intros, so I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.